Okay. Tonight's session, I'm just gonna be doing a chart review, as well as chart review, trade review. I want to go over a few trades. Shout out Nvidia. We'll be going over the Doji method, how you can use it intraday, and how we used it today. And as well as understanding how to trade 0 DTEs, right? Adapting to 0 DTEs, especially dealing with Theta after 12 o'clock and near the end of the day. And how to snipe entries. A lot of times people are so kind of, I don't know, I would say nervous about taking an entry that's not the absolute bottom. But I know that, I'm not always going to get the top and the bottom. We have to go for the meat of the move. Okay, so make sure you guys take notes. Everyone's good. Let me, if the second stream and chart. Okay. Going into today, right? We charted out NQ, looked at VIX and everything. So the main thing that I saw on VIX today, right? VIX had an insane spike up the day prior, but we look at the daily. Okay, now VIX does not spend a lot of time up here. Okay, but normally once it breaks this 25 level, once it breaks 25, it spikes up to at least 29.30. Okay, we broke it yesterday. We broke 25 yesterday and closed above. It wasn't a large topping wick, something that didn't top out right. It closed above it pretty strongly here. So I was thinking, hey, we don't spend a lot of time up here, maybe a few bars, maybe, 3 or 4 bars or whatever. But there's a high likelihood, especially with the kind of sentiment going around with tech and the indexes in general, of a weak market, of a bearish market, right? So when we spiked up here yesterday, very nice move. We kind of had that expectation of continuation on VIX today, which would lead to a bearish sentiment in the market, of course. Okay, so I want to go through here on QQQ, right? And look at the 1 hour chart. Oh, that's a 4. Look at the 1 hour chart, right? So as we can see here, yes, there are inverse head and shoulders, but that may only be a part of the micro trend. One thing that I really want you guys to be able to understand is that yes, the micro trend may be bullish or bearish at that given time, but where is it in accordance to the macro trend, right? So we're getting, lower lows from the lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low. We break this level, okay? Lower high here, lower low here. See, it breaks that level, right? So when we spike down hard yesterday at close, okay, we get a little pop up on the lower high. Then it comes back down. You get a nice little higher low right off the open. So there's a sense of bullishness there. But I really strived and, wanted to look at the 30-minute more today, more so than I have in the smaller time frame kind of charts, right? So the 30 minutes great because you can get your orb level, right? Your open range breakout. And if I just clear everything off, right, you have this level. That is kind of a doji. It's kind of a wide range doji. It's not the cleanest, right? But what you're going to see here is you mark the high and the low as support. And then you're going to mark this body, right? So we push down here. We do close, but nothing closes below, right? Nothing closes below the low of the open range, which is a huge kind of signal, right? You look at yesterday's open range. This closes above, but it's kind of a weak break. You kind of have another doji there. We'll go over that one after this, but you get a pop up even, and it does close into the upper wick, but nothing closes truly above the resistance here. So what happens? A bearish engulfing forms. This is kind of another doji. If you mark the high and the low and then went over the body, we can see that we close into the lower wick. Once we start to push down here, right, now in the micro trend you can get a short entry on some of these wicks or something, but generally you're not going to see a steep sell-off until one, this demand zone's taken out, and two, buyers stop out, right? This fight here at the, yes, this is a clear downtrend on the 30-minute, sure, right? But dealing with Theta and, the 0DTs and OPEX across the board, right? The options expiry. There was a lot of pinning and just a lot of consolidation. What time is this? I think about 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock all the way to about power hour, right before power hour. So this area right here, right? I talked about it in the Discord, right? It's not even worth trading, right? So one way that you can kind of adapt to this, if you don't want to trade the chop at all, right? Because there's, if you didn't take your profit, right? The thing with 0DTEs and Theta, especially after 12 o'clock, is that you're going to run into a lot of, Theta decay. And this is exactly what market makers want, to churn your accounts and fry those premiums. So yes, it is a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. But, a short that you took here, once it spikes down, due to Theta over time, it's going to decay, right? The worth of that contract. And, as it gets closer to the end of the day, the expiration, it becomes harder for it to gain delta. Okay, so when it pushes up here, okay, so let's say you take an entry, let's just say, for example, it's 50 cents a contract. Let's just say that. And then it shoves down here. And then it's, 75 cents or $1. Sure, right? When it shoves back up here, this is still a lower high, right? So it's not right back at that entry, but it may be even right at 50 cents, right about here, or even like 40 cents, 45 cents right there, right at the same area where you bought it on the underlying, right? That's still 358, 30, or 40 area. So due to Theta, you're going to run into that problem if you don't lock in profit quickly. So the contract that was here, maybe 50 cents again here, and then maybe 50 cents again here, right? Although, on the underlying, that is worth less and less. But due to the Theta, it's better to just take your profit on the lower lows. So what I mean by that, let's say, okay, you take an entry there. This is the low to break. Okay, remember, this hasn't broken yet. This pops up, you short the pop over VWAP. Once it breaks this low right there, you should be scaling out, right? The delta is going to be primed up, and it's going to be a very high kind of probability for you to make good money on that contract. So, there was also a question from a member in the Discord tonight. Okay, this is kind of off topic, but they asked, Q Jackson's been talking about Disney, right? And I was saying that, I'm going to study it this weekend. Just to kind of get a, understanding of that ticker. Let me see. Yeah, if the second stream goes out, just let me know, guys. And Hot Hand Trades messaged me and asked, could I go over how I'm going to study Disney this weekend? And what kind of thesis that I would need to then most likely or favorably trade Disney next week. Booker Trade says, so when stocks go sideways, you exit when trading options? No, not always. So when they go sideways or very, laggardly to the downside or upside, right? It's not a true kind of, sharp knife like this. What you want to do is, take an entry there, scale majority, okay? Leave a small core, something that's not going to hurt you if it does come back due to Theta. And if it is another pop-up, then you need to add, okay? Once you get the lower low, remember this was the low before, once you break the lower low, that's what shorts want on the scalp for the 0DTEs. The Theta, the delta is going to pay you a lot at this very peak here, right? But once it pops back up, it may go to break even. And, let me look at a contract today. I think, what was I trading? I think I said, let me see. One second. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find which one I was trading. I think it was like the 350s. I don't know. I think it was the 350s. Yeah. We'll just go look at it. So let me send that. Store sales. We'll change this to 2. Change it to the 1 minute. Studies. I don't want any studies on this. Okay, so we can see here, right, on this 250 put, or yeah, 350 put, okay, right here. So market, a lot of people don't chart the options contract, but this is something that you can really do because market makers will just trade within a range on this. Okay, so there's your support, there's a resistance right there, right? 1 second. 1 moment, guys. Look at this. A lot of people are not charting options contracts, okay? But you should. You should mark at least support and resistance and supply and demand. It's something that I'm trying to get people to get used to and kind of add into their trading while they're trading options, just due to the fact that there's a lot of beneficial information that you can learn from this, and you can bid into the options contract. Why is it so important to mark off options contracts? I'm going to show you right here. Okay. What's going on? I hear a lot of. Okay, so we're good. So, right, you see this on QQQ. It is going lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, right? So, look at this. Do you see how clean of an options contract chart this is? Now, it's not the most favorable. It's very far out of the money, right? It's 350. 350 is, a few points down from around this time. But let's say, what time is it? 11:50. So let's go to 11:50s right here. So I'm going to mark a box right here marking 11 or 12 o'clock. Okay, 12 o'clock. Okay, let me show you guys something. Where's 12 o'clock? Okay, right here. 12 o'clock is this bar. I know it's kind of strange, right? But you can see here, when it pops up, okay, this is a put, so it's going to be the inverse. When it pops up here, okay, I'll mark a level. Okay, that's at 12:05. So let's go to 12:05. It's going to be this base right there. 12:05, you take an entry on a short, right? You want to short the pops. That's how you take a short. You buy the put. Okay, now when it breaks a lower low right here. When it breaks a lower low right here, where does it break it at? 12:20. What is this? 12:20. That's where you want to scale out. You see that? Okay? You scale out at 12 every time you make a lower low. Okay, so right here, you break this lower low. Where are they selling? Right at their resistance. So they've been buying here at 10 cents, and they're selling here at 23 cents, right? So when it pops back up right here, okay, 12:35. Okay, look at 12:35. It's about this low right there. So you've gotten a lower high right here, right? 12:35. Remember, just because you get a fresh low, it doesn't mean that the options contract is going to continue to go up and up and up as QQQ goes down and down and down, right? It will sit sideways due to theta. Okay, it streams down. I got you. Yo, thanks for that gifted sub. Yo, Quatchout's in here. What's up, Quatchamole? So, right, we get this trend going through here. We can see very clearly in hindsight, lower highs, lower lows. It's a downtrend, but this contract moves sideways. This is why it's so important to mark that support and resistance. You can even mark supply and demand. Now, this is not TA. This is not bull flags. This is not downtrend breaks. This is none of that. It is a very basic... A Cyborg says, I would love to be on your Patreon. I refuse to pay people to pay me for advice. No way, Jose. Don't play an option willy-nilly. Yo, 1,000 things. Just 1 second. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you, man. I mean, I'll show you guys profits and percents. It's insane. So anyway, right, you can see downtrend, sideways, trade the supply and the demand on the options contract. A lot of times when we're trading blindly and it's theta decay on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on the indexes, right? If you need to look at the options contract, because you'll see where that buyer is soaking it and where he's selling it again, where that short is selling that same contract. Okay, so you buy that right there at this is at 1235. Once it breaks a lower low, okay, right here, breaks a lower low, you would think that the contract would go above, right? It would make a new high, a higher high, just like this is making a lower low, because this is a put. It's the inverse. Okay, as soon as it makes a lower low, it breaks that level. That's 1250. Where's 1250 at? Oh, look, 1250 is right here. You can see the time right here. 1250 is right here. You scale out again, okay, into that same zone. You can set limits there, okay? What happens? It pops up right here, 1310. That's 110, okay? 110 comes down. Look right there, 1310, same time frame. What does it absorb? Even though it's a higher high, okay, it's still in that same range, that same demand zone on the options contract, right? What happens when they get a lower low, guys? This is why you have to scale out on the low. I'm showing you guys what these market makers are doing right now, okay? When you get a lower low right here, 1325, that's 1:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look at that, 1325 right there. Okay, you scale out again. Do you guys see what I'm trying to explain to you guys? Even though it's going down, the underlying is going down. Okay, lower highs, lower lows consecutively. So, you know, that bid on the underlying is getting shoved. This is staying horizontal. You can make easy money if you spot something like this. Because of the theta, the market makers will just manipulate these back and forth. You know, they're not letting it break a support. They're not letting it break a resistance. They have enough contracts to just go back and forth, shorting and going long on the same contract. So you can go back and forth on this, guys. You know, what happens when it pops back up again? Right here, 1350. That's 150. Right here. Oh, look, 1350. The same area, 9 cents, 10 cents. Okay, mark the support. Mark the support. What is that lower low right there? 1425. So that's 225. Okay. What time is that? 1435, 1425. The same demand zone. We are much lower from where we started, but we're selling the contracts in the same area. Okay. So thank you, Q, for the sub. This is so important, guys, on Fridays. It is so important. This is how I saw, you know, and how we made 15% on that contract, right? I'll go through. I don't know if you guys saw or not, right? I just come in at power hour sometimes and we'll just call something and I'll bank and dip out, right? Right here. Whoops, not this one. Right here, right? 115% in less than 10 minutes on QQQ. Okay? Right there, you take the we took the 350s, this contract here, bottom about 10 cents, flipped it all the way down, made 150% after the breaking base, the 90 EMA rejection, and it shoves all the way down. Okay, but you will run into theta decay. Okay, you have to be able to look at this, guys. This will change how you trade 0 DTEs on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, especially the further out of the monies. How do I add an options chart to Thinkorswim? You go to trade, you go to your options chain, right? I have 2 set here on this sell. This is 1, this is the underlying. You go to trade, let's just pick this one, okay? The 349 calls. I'll send, go to the bottom here, you go to 2, yellow, chart, right? Then it's going to show you. I don't always play puts super far out of the money. These are recorded, and these I always have sessions like this in the Discord, and they are all recorded in the Discord. Yeah, it was a lot to take in, but you know, it's either you pick it up or you don't, and you're left in the dust, right? Do all options contracts move in patterns like that? No, not always, right? But with theta, you know, let's look at like the 351s. Right? Look at that. Same move there. We are consolidating though. When you are consolidating and not trending, watch your options contracts. See where those market makers are pinning the resistance and the support here on the contract, okay? Yo, what's up, Jake Pitts? Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you have a good weekend. How bad in fees do you get killed on TOS from all your scales? You mean how bad do I kill the market? And the market pays me fees, practically. I don't really care about the fees too much, to be quite honest. And I've been trading NVIDIA a bit chunkier contracts, nothing crazy, but like $300-400 contracts. So, right, I want to go over Disney. This is how I review a chart and how I would look at it, you know, in a sense of if I wanted to trade it, okay? If I've never looked at, I haven't really looked at Disney, to be quite honest, right? I haven't really looked at it. It has been trending well because the stock is dying, is dying really bad, honestly. I mean, a double gap down, it's pretty awful. So there's a lot of selling going on. Yo, Darkwing Tregs, thanks for the sub, brother. Yo, we got a hype train. Look, we got a little lizard. So right, how I would look at this, I typically like to go on the 10-minute when I'm looking at the intraday. So what I do, I look at the hourly or the 4-hour, and this allows me to see the micro or the macro trend at hand, right? How has this been trending the last you know, 10 days or so? And I look at the EMAs, I see, you know, is it you know, ranging most days? Is it trending most days? How could I fit myself into this trade? Let me see. Chart hash real good, guys. Okay, I think we're good. So I look at this for the macro trend, right? How can I fit myself into the trade on the hourly chart, but as well as the 10-minute? Now the 10-minute, what I'm practically looking at is or are the EMAs, right? I want to see how I could look at the 10-minute EMAs and how well they're being respected, right? On this downtrend here, very well respected on the EMAs. This is something that's favorable to trade. Now in this uptrend, I'm sure on the 1-minute it would have reported a bit better. You know, on this, like, you know, let me go to like the 1 today, right? Yeah, the 1-minute, super slick here, right? 9 EMA cross, 20 add, 20 add, you know, later entries to take quicker profit taking. Okay, so we can see that very clear trend. Obviously this would have been a simple trade because of the dump. Anytime it dumps or rips up, it's rather simple. You just add heavily on the EMAs, right? Very nice trend to the upside, right? Let's zoom in a little bit on the 3. I want you guys to see how I would be looking at or taking entries, possibly on the 3-minute. Okay, so we were on this day, right? You can see here daily demand or intraday demand. You get the 9 crossing over the 20 right there. Very simple 9 EMA kind of you know, capture. Now this doesn't touch the 9 EMA, but I would have been able to zoom in on the 1 or the 3. Remember, I'm never stuck on one time frame. I mean, I have multiple time frames up, right? So go, and then on the downside, you see, hey, trend consolidation. Remember our 2 phases. Yo, D-Lee, thanks for subbing. And Dater Tater. I don't do, it's probably Dater Trader. Oh, date trader. Dude, I just butchered your name. I'm sorry. Potato, dude. I watched that the other day on Lord of the Rings. It was so funny. I had never seen that. Or maybe I just didn't remember it. But anyway. But on this downtrend, right, we trend up consolidation and then it trends to the downside. You see the 9 EMA crossing below the 20. Pretty simple ads there on the 9 EMA, right? You have an entry literally here, 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 and so on and so forth. Remember, later entries dictate quicker profit taking because it will go back into consolidation phase, right? I mean, that's demand if you extend it out. See? So, right, I'm going to keep going through. This day a bit trickier, but, you know, if it does pop through, obviously you want to look at your EMAs as well as your pivot points, okay? You can see, you know, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? And then you get this low here, and then what happens, right? You get a double bottom, mark your resistance, now you're channeling, right? This is where that options contract kind of chart comes in handy when you need to be marking support and resistance or supply and demand. Okay. Do I use the orb strategy? Not really. I do like looking at the orb levels, but it's not something I truly incorporate so much. But yeah, exactly, Q. Just like Q said, this is back testing. I want to see how well this ticker's personality is throughout the day. See on this downtrend, very clear trend to the downside. On a smaller time frame like the one, you would have been able to tweezer into a trade. So, and then when it crosses over, right? A lot of times traders get afraid of when it fails below, right? Now, depending upon your entry, if you FOMO'd into this entry, you already have a bad entry, so you need to have a good stop loss, right? Bad entry, good stop loss. But what holds this integrity of the trend are the pivot points, right? You have your low there, marks another low, right? And what's held your higher low, as well as this was a demand zone on the most recent pivot, okay? Just by that doji right there, the dragonfly doji. So we can see that, right? It's a pretty good ticker for TA. Something, oh, this would be awesome to short every time it pops up to the 9 and the 20 EMA, right? So, not a bad ticker to trade. This is something that I will possibly chart on Monday or a few days this upcoming week and incorporate into the trade, right? I will just randomly take trades on things. I want to talk about the trade on Boeing today. So, if we go here on off the open, right? Relatively weak, but I kept looking at QQQ off the open, right? Come on. QQQ off the open today. Spiking up, right? SPY off the open today. SPY off the open, right? Spiking up. What was Boeing doing? Boeing is in my list of tickers that I like to trade. Right here, BA. What was Boeing doing, right? Boeing had a huge bearish engulfing candle. It took out the support here. I set alerts all for this. It comes that simple. Oh, we'll go over 10:30 magic time as well. Yeah, 10:30 magic time, dude. Super good. So we see it breaks that support. This was an alert, right? But once it broke that pre-market low, that's a pretty significant level, right? That's why I marked the pre-market high and low all of the time, because those are very significant and very strong levels to watch and be able to maintain. So once that failed there, right, we go on the 1 minute, and I'm like, okay, this is how you snipe entries, right? People are afraid to do this, but it's very simple. Okay, so you get a big bearish engulfing. This first 3 minute candle here. What you wanted, you don't FOMO into the puts here. Okay, let me look at both. What did I trade? The 210 calls. Or puts, excuse me, not calls. 210 puts, right? I got them at $1.28. Okay, so this is why, I feel like it's pretty common sense, but we have to go over it because it's review. Okay, this is why you don't FOMO into red candles. Oh, I want to go short. I'm going to short the first red candle I see, right? Because I'm missing out on all this money being made. You were just you were just being the liquidity for these shorts who shorted up here, right? You're buying their contracts. Yes, in hindsight, it makes good money. Because it does follow the trend, but it's not always going to work out that way, as well as being able to, be more precise, okay? Step up your game a little bit. So if you short this bottom tick here, that's 933, right? The very base of that. You're going to get filled there if you slap the ask or buy market. So right here, 933, I can already tell that's a peak. That's 164. I told you I got filled at 128, right? When it pops up, you want to short the pop up, right? Why would you short that? One, there's a bearish engulfing. The main stop loss for all shorts is going to be the high of the day. Okay, that's the main stop loss. That's where shorts will begin to cover. Okay, so on the pop up here, we have a 9 and 20 EMA being bearish because the 20 is above the 9, and we've broken under VWAP. So we have a VWAP break and base. You also have the 9 and the 20 EMA there to support you towards your downwards trend. So I take my initial entry there and I short up a little bit higher right there, right? 128, about this level right here, right? Not the best entry. I mean, it is pretty good, right? It's 30-40 cents less than the previous high if you FOMO'd into the red candle. So that's saving you $30-40 a contract. That's the high of the day at that point in time. Yep, J-licious. That is the high of the day at that point in the time, right? At the end of the day, it is the high of the day overall, right? So at that given time off the open, that's how you trade the open. I do it every morning. It's very stressful for a lot of people, but I've done it for years now. So we take this short, right? How do you hold on to a trend? You guys should have been watching or should have watched the YouTube videos on my channel already about how to hold on to trends using the 9 and the 20 EMA. Okay, but there are some arrows earlier from us trading it this morning. You know, we take the short and you just hold as long as you have the 9 and the 20 telling you that it's okay to hold. Now, this area scared a lot of people. Remember, you should be marking your pivot points along the trend. So if I clear this out, right, higher high or lower high, lower low. Okay, lower high, lower low, right? You see that? Lower high, lower high, lower high, right? So you're not going to stop out. One, maybe your plan is to stop out and lock in a lot of profit because the 20 EMA fails, but remember, use multiple time frames, use the 3-minute, look at the 2, maybe the 5, something that's going to give you a stronger sense of a thesis, okay? But you shouldn't have stopped out here, right? You got wicked out, right? They snagged your contracts. If you held from all the way up here and stopped out right there, they snagged your contracts. Now, maybe you just want to lock in profit. That's completely fine, sure. But look at the pivots. Sure, the 1-minute EMAs fail, but I know for a fact this arrow right here, right, because it breaks over the 20, that's the 3-minute 9 EMA. Oh, look at that. See that same arrow? I'll change the color so it matches up. Let's do a purple one. Purple arrow. Oh, look at the purple arrow. I said that the 1-minute 20 EMA was the 3 minutes 9. It is the 3 minutes 9, right? Because we've been trading this for so long, and that's just how these EMAs, you know, kind of translate over time frame to time frame. Same thing for this. The 3 minutes 20 EMA is the 5 minutes 9. So I'm going to mark an arrow right there. We'll go to the 5. Right? Right there. Right? See, very close to it. So going forward here, you know, you shouldn't have stopped out. Make sure you're always marking your pivot points, okay? See that? That's still a lower low, only by a cent or so, right? But still lower low, and this wasn't a close over for the higher high. Yep, exactly. I want to talk about 10:30 Magic Time, but before that, I want to kind of, you know, congratulate everyone in the room today, and, you know, all of their hard work and progression thus far. Okay, so we'll go to the very high, beginning of the day for the gains. I mean, you guys are, I mean, I'm still not there yet. Okay, here. You guys are insane, right? For you guys, only trading options a few months now. Some of you guys just in the room the first week or so, maybe 2 weeks. Yo, thanks, J-licious, for subbing. You guys are killing it. I mean, absolutely killing it, right? So look, Sooner, 91.5% on AMD, right? Moonstacks, 1300. Right here, 81 from Aztec, right? I'm just gonna scroll through here. Another 150%, $319 from Frosty. Yo, of course, bros. Thanks for subbing. Okay, look at Jake Pitts. 10 green days in a row. $652 from Dark Mike, right? Look at Ace. Remember, I also want you guys to look at this. Okay, and people ask me, hey, what's a good risk to reward ratio, right? What's I need to win how many times out of this to be a profitable trader? You can take a lot of losing trades and still be profitable as long as you know how to hold on to your winners, right? You can take a lot of little paper cut losses, but if you know when a winner's solid and you can hold it, that's all that matters. You can lose 80% of your trades, but as long as those 80% of those losses are tight stop losses and the other 20% are your big winners, you would still be much more profitable than someone who does 60-40, right? So going through here, we're going to continue, right? 15%, 100%, 46, right? 10% from Wonder Brad, right? Good work, guys. Keep going through here, 3%, 3% on the day, 640 daily realized. Okay, look at Anfan, $2,000 today. Anfan had a record day. About 1,500 right here from T Moru, 15% on the day for John Walker, and 1,200 on the day from RMH, 6% from Santisi. Also check out the daily poll, right? 107 green, 35 voted red, and 6 record days, guys. Congratulations. You know, I hope that you guys all enjoy your weekend. And for those of you who are red, right, you just got to study. It will be your time at one point. It can't be everyone's time. So, to continue the lesson. Yeah, Diesel, dude. Diesel. Jesus. Diesel's a monster. So going through here, I want to talk about 10:30 magic time. Okay? GQQ is probably my favorite one to look at when I do this. What else saying? Yeah, look at y'all. Yeah, I did show you 100%. Look, here, Q's getting salty. You crybaby, dude. I'm joking. Let's go to the 10-minute. Okay, so I got asked this question on the Halt podcast with Teddy and Ant, right? They were like, hey, someone in my Discord, not mine, but in their Discord, they were like, hey, someone asked about this 10:30 kind of, what's the deal with 10:30, right? What's your strategy around 10:30? It's not really a strategy. It's more so an alert. You know, it's just something to be aware of around a certain time, which is 10:30, right? Not exactly on 10:30, but a lot of times very close to it, where price tends to reverse in some sense on the trend, right? It may not be a super strong reversal, may just be another pivot in the current trend, but it's very significant, and it's something that you guys should watch for. I have an alarm set at 10:15, 10:20, and right at 10:30 every day. If you guys are in the Discord, you guys hear it ding off every morning, okay? Right here, look at 10:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30 right here. You sold off very hard, right? Let's go to the day prior. What time is this? Look at this is the time down here, guys. 10:20, 10:30. Look at that. Death. Okay, let's go to the day prior. What time is this? 10:20, death, right? Look at that. 10:20 right here. Yep, 10:20. Pops up a little bit, reverses. Okay? Go through it and back test this yourself, right? If you don't believe it. You're going to sit there and be like, where's my alarm for 10:30, right? Look at 10:30 right here, 10:40, right? Dips down, reverses hard. This is 20 days ago, right here, 10:30. Super steep downtrend, 10:30 hits, right on the dot, reverses. You make a killing on the calls. Okay, look at this time frame, 10:20. You spike up, it's 10:20 time, 10:30 time, huge spike to the downside. Right here, 10:10, 10:20, right? Spike up, reverse. Look, spike up right here, 10:30. You spike up at 10:30, reverses. Right here, what time is that? 10:30. Look at this. I mean, Jesus Christ, 10:30, spikes up, reverses. Right? I can't give away all my secrets, okay? Right? I know. They're taking notes, man. Yeah, magic time is an understatement. Exactly. So, there's a little, I hope you're taking notes. For those of you who joined and and joined the stream for some education, this is a lot of shit that, some people aren't really going to tell you, right? How many people told you to chart the options contract supply and demand, talking about 10:30 magic time, okay? You know, new stacks power hour, right? So, you know, 0. Yep, magic time, sexy time. Exactly, Q, exactly. Some of you guys get it. Yeah. You know, what else you guys want to learn, right? You guys got a question? I'll take a few more questions. Exactly, bro. Pre-market supply and demand. Tennis, yeah, tennis, dude. I got rained on today. So I want to talk about supply and demand, or the pre-market extended hours levels. Okay, why they're so significant. So here you have the after-hour low, pre-market high, right? That's your range. That's what you're trying to break out of. What happens, okay, this is not a strong break. Remember, this big bottoming wick here, you see where the bidders have, or the buyers have placed their bid. They're not letting any price close below their large buyer. Oh, look at what time that is, 10:20. Look at that. Look at the rip. Oh, even you take the 10:30 candle. Huge rip after the sell-off today. So, right, these are your levels. Your after hour high and low are very significant. So when I'm trading this, I know, hey, you know, it popped up here. That's kind of that you know, pre-market high or pre-market supply right here, right? That's why we shorted that and made good money. When it comes down here, that was that demand. I was kind of late to this, which is kind of salty about it, but that's okay. Pre-market or after hour low demand, right? It absorbs it right there. Okay, comes back up to the pre-market high supply, rejects right on that. Now, when you come down here, remember we talked about the consolidation, the chop, the churning of theta and everything like that. You know, so the churning of theta and everything like that right here, right? Because buyers were fighting to defend this low down here. They did not want to stop out, okay? And once they did, once they cracked pre-market low and closed this very strong candle, right? Can a member from the House of Stacks tell me what happens right here, right? Remember, I'll label this. All right, what happens right there on the pre-market low? Right, there you go, breaking base. Yep, breaking base and dump. Okay? So you can see this. We'll zoom out a little bit. Okay, it breaks strongly here. This is that pre-market low level. Breaks strongly, comes back up and bases, right? And then what's the reaction? Buyers stop out. They're stopping out all the way down here. Yep, breaking base on pre-market low. Very nice, guys. Pivot points, Uncle Cletus. Okay, I got you, brother. So let's go here on the 5. Let me clear this out, right? So we'll do it. This is good. We could do both of these. So what I want you to do if you're struggling with pivot points, remember, Uncle Cletus, I have a YouTube video going over pivot points as well. Right, pivot points are going to tell you what the current trend is. Okay, regardless of indicators, regardless of whatever you're using, it's going to tell you the strength of the current trend noted by the pivot points. Your pivot points are lower highs, lower lows, higher lows, and higher highs. Okay, so on a downtrend, you're gonna get lower highs. Right, here's your high right there. When it pushes back up, lower high. Right, pushes up, lower high. Okay, lower high, lower high, lower high. Look at this trend here. Lower high, lower high, lower high, right? Candle by candle, lower high, so on and so forth, right? You could have literally held onto this trend as long as the lower highs were holding. Nothing closing above, right? So those are your pivots. Now, on kind of a choppier trend like this, right? You would be marking your pivot, right? I don't know if you guys know what a pivot is, right? It's just like you're changing a direction, right? You're pivoting. Okay, so that's the high here. I'm gonna go through and mark that, mark all these pivots. There's your low, right? The lower low breaks. That's your lower low. Mark this most recent low. Okay, mark this high, right there, right? Lower high, lower low. Mark this low. Mark this. Now this is a higher high, but it doesn't close above this level. Okay, and in the major trend, it's still a lower high, right? This low breaks, lower low. Okay, then you get a lower high. Now you do get a higher low here, but when you do get a higher low, you need to expect a higher high. And if you don't get a higher high, then there's no bullish perspective. Okay, there's no bullish perspective. So you mark this lower high, you mark that low. Look, lower low. Okay, lower low, lower high, right? So on and so forth. Could you, after you mark some areas of entry, say where you would put your stop loss at, and how do you move your stop loss when the trade goes in your favor? Sure. And you move it through your pivots. Now, whether or not it's either your pivots or your EMAs, whichever is being best respected. All right. So like, today, this is normally what I'm doing. So like, let's say that, I'm taking a short on the pop-up. Let's say I take it right there on VWAP, right? My stop loss is going to be that pivot right there, right? This is like a supply zone, okay? So let's say you short the next pop-up, okay? Let's say you short the next pop-up right here, right? Where's your stop loss? Right there, that high, or VWAP. Okay, let's say you're shorting the next pop-up here. You short these two wicks. Where's your stop loss? This most recent high, okay? You want to short this upper wick again here. Draw these upper wicks, right? You want to short when it's pushing up the green bars on a downtrend. You short that. You wouldn't have stopped out. You probably would have added more to your put in this kind of intermediate supply zone. Yep, exactly. Higher low means nothing without a higher high. Yep. And yes, I use a mental stop loss. Sorry, I'm trying to catch everyone's comments. If I miss your comment, I don't mean to do it on purpose. On Boeing, can you show the trend reversal pivot where the decision to sell is? Because on the chart you showed, it seemed you would be losing a lot of gains waiting for higher high. What do you mean waiting for higher high? It seemed you'd be losing it. Waiting, for the higher high. Now, this is not always like if you're holding all the way through. Now, if you are, of course, this is my kind of thing, what I do when I'm scaling. So when I take this entry here, right, I look at my scale outs, right? 1.28, 1.5, 1.66, 1.89, 2.34, 2.7, right? 3.2. Right, I'm scaling out along the way. So let's say I take my main entry right there on the VWAP rejection. Once I get a lower low, scaling. Once I get another lower low, scaling. Right, once I get another lower low, scaling. Right, as long as my lower highs stay intact, the options contract is still going to be it's still going to do well enough for 12 o'clock. Look at 10:30 right here on Boeing. 10:23, guys. Look at the reversal at 10:30. Look at that time. Go through it and backtest it. Okay, with the stop, you don't wait until it bases. You need for the price to break that pivot. No, it's got to close into over your stop or over into your stop, either a supply zone or something like that. If we have one contract, should we keep taking profit and re-entering? That's truly up to you and your decision. On trading, I like to trade, if you're trading one contract at a time, this is what I would be doing, right? I would be locking in money as much as I can. Everyone wants to take one contract and hold it from the very top and hold it to the very bottom. That's unrealistic, guys. You can't do that every time. It's not going to happen every time on the chart. Let's say you take a short here, you get a lower low, I would have locked it in. Join the ask. Boom. 1. Now, what am I going to do next? I'm going to wait to snipe the next entry. Hey, the 90 EMA has been respecting this on this downtrend. VIX was spiking up. SPY was selling off. This or that, right? So I want to take the next 90 EMA tap. See, this one was pretty good. So when it shoves up, snipe it. You take it. Once you get a lower low, you're out, right? Oh, I want to short the next pop-up. Okay, it makes a lower low. Sell. Oh, I want to short the next pop-up. Let's short it, right? That's a 3-minute 90 EMA right there. Very strong respect for that support for the downside. Okay. Oh, you get a lower low right here, right? You lock it in. You don't have to get the very bottom. You don't know when the bottom's going to appear. Yep. Get the meat of the move and dip. I don't care if it rips another 10 points, 30, 50, 100 points after I sell, right? I do with what's consistent. We are supposed to build the account. We're not supposed to be home run hitters, superheroes. Hey, I'm gonna be an A+ trader and we're learning, right? No, you're learning. Build the account, build the experience. Now, something I also want to talk about, right, for the psychology of a new trader. Everyone thinks, hey, if I make a lot of money, I'm going to feel good about myself. It's going to build confidence. I'm going to be a great trader if I make a lot of money. Okay, that's wrong. It's absolutely wrong if you're new. Okay, what you should be doing is getting good wins under your belt. Okay, getting a positive experience out of trading. Everything that I just said, every time you take this short entry and you sell and you get a lower low, you should be happy. You're like, hey, I extracted money from the market. Hey, I'm going to short this next pop up. You get another lower low and you sell down here. Hey, I'm going to sell again. I'm going to extract money from the market. I'm going to be happy about that. These are positive experiences on your trading career that are going to be, you guys really don't understand how important this is, because how many of you guys have had awful trades and how that affects your career to this day, your trading career, right? Your trading journey. You guys have held bags. You hold on to losers and cut winners too quickly, right? Yada, yada, yada. Everyone goes through the same thing. And that negatively impacts you. You have PTSD. You have anxiety. You have fear. Okay? But what if you're a trader who locks in profit and doesn't care if it continues them? Oh, yeah. In hindsight, I could have held that all the way down here. But in also hindsight, I took 3 good trades, right? And I made money on 3 of those trades. And I understood my edge and I followed my plan and I had a tight risk, right? That's a better experience on your trading journey. So, let's see. Does candle type matter when taking breaking base and EMA taps? I don't know if you mean like you normally on a breaking base you want to see a large upper wick or bottoming wick on either direction, right? If you're going to the downside, like what was it on? Right? When it breaks down and bases, you want to see a large bearish reaction presented on the candlesticks, right? All those upper wicks. You can also see where the shorts set their ask. They set their limit. Nothing closed above that, okay? That's a very bearish signal. Here we go. Oh, let me, oh dang, the chat got messed up. Okay. So, guys, we had a very good week in the market this week. There was one bumpy day. I feel like my worst trading day was probably Thursday, but I still came out very green, and a majority of you guys did, right? We're on a 13-day green streak right now in the room, and we are minimizing risk and executing when they are passing out money on these contracts, right? Whenever it's dumping, everyone is very aligned in the room and hive mindset, taking and killing these contracts, right? MG, Sooner, right? Ace, QQQ Jackson especially, right? You guys are killing it when their trend is presented. You guys know exactly what to do, and that's all you need. The chop and shit, right? You guys give money back sometimes, and yes, you do make money, but when it's trending up or trending down very clearly, we know exactly what to do. So, if you enjoyed this session tonight, right, we do multiple sessions like this a week, right? This is kind of the library that we go through. I've already done 3 or 4 this week, along with a couple interviews. But this is the entire kind of library with all of my strategies and a kind of chart reviews, things that will help you out as a newer trader, especially a newer options trader. New trader pros and cons, right? Trading larger time frames, tunnel vision cure, hesitation versus patience review, think tank, how to execute options trades on Thinkorswim, cautionary measures for the new year, positive performance, needed improvements, 9 EMA 20 or 920 EMA strategy break, my pre-market channel strategy, how to be patient. It goes so on and so forth. This is everything that you need to become a successful and independent options trader. I don't use mobile bands, right? The only thing that I use, 9 and 20 EMA, 200 EMA, VWAP, supply and demand, support and resistance, fibs. I only really use the mid candle fibs, 50 and 61.8 fibs, stuff like that. But you know, guys, if you have enjoyed this session, if you've learned this session, if you are new, if you are not a part of the group, right, check out the link, the Patreon link in the chat. I day trade live with everyone, just like I showed you all of the gains from this morning. I mean, really all day, all called out in the room, especially with a strong focused group of traders. Very focused right now, as you can tell in the Discord. That you know, we're all aligned and you know, taking out these contracts every single day. So do I like day trading end of day scalps? No, not really. I don't really care for them too much. I'm normally done about 1 or 2 o'clock. But at the end of the day, especially in 0 DTEs, it's just too much of a gamble. Yeah, exactly. The blink, the strat. No, I don't use the strat. I think the strat is like, I don't know. Isn't that inside bar people could talk about? Oh no, you're talking about mobile bands? Yeah. But yeah, guys, you know, I hope that you guys learned something in this session. There was a lot to cover. And you know, it's only going to prepare you better for this upcoming week and each week, right? I do a lot of these each night, just so that, you know, traders can help themselves and be guided as to why a kind of chart moved a certain way and understand the movement, okay? Not just watch it go by and in hindsight think, oh yeah, I should have just shorted this, right? But understanding why, so that when we are trading live, you can react to that situation very clearly and closely and take some entries with precision. So, you know, if you guys enjoy this session, please check out the Patreon link in the chat. If you have any questions, please DM me on Twitter. Okay, everyone in the House of Stacks, I hope that you guys enjoy your weekend, right? I think MG and the skilled members in the group are hosting a think tank kind of session tomorrow afternoon. I think it's just kind of impromptu. So it'll just be, you know, they'll alert everyone, of course. I will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time on the 100 Millions Twitch, right? We're doing a trader spotlight interview. We're just going to kind of chat, chill, talk stock, and, you know, just have a good time. So make sure you guys tune in to 100 Millions stream tomorrow. And, you know, I hope that you guys really enjoy your weekend. I will have homework out for everyone in the House of Stacks, possibly tonight, maybe tomorrow morning very early, as well as a couple YouTube videos for everyone this weekend. So you guys, once again, enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in to the EDU session tonight. I am looking forward to trading with everyone next week. We have a full week, but we have FOMC, so we could see a bit more blood. Just be prepared for that, and don't trade while the FOMC starts. Yes, podcast is tomorrow, Bugs Bunny. Yep. Podcast tomorrow, yep, at 1 Eastern Standard Time. Okay? So, you guys, eat some good food this weekend. Please rest, relax, enjoy your life, drink some water, get some rest. The weekends are always when I catch up on sleep. So I will catch everyone tomorrow, or not tomorrow. I'll catch everyone tomorrow on the stream, and I hope that you all learned from this session tonight. So you guys take care and enjoy.